you're right. People don't know if this is going to be their permanent location or their stay. So it may not make sense. And again, that whole affordability piece. People don't, I mean, with the way prices have increased, there's a whole lot now to buying than what it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I mean, we can all say it's
we
relative when you
actually
think
have
about,
some stats that are
yeah,
from 10 years ago that actually, prove what you're saying, right?
yeah,
That big part of it too is just an affordability thing. I
absolutely.
might have the ability to share my screen, but at the
You
end of
do.
the day, I try to share it if I can. This is one of the stats that was pulled up from actually Redfin, uh,
Mm,
that talked about affordability in America. So you led right into it, what we were going to discuss far as saying that anyway. I don't need all
hmm
this over here all in the way and stuff. But at the end of the day, yeah, 16% of homes for sale in 2023 were affordable. Now, this is national data, which
This is,
means
yeah, this,
yeah. So it actually means it might have been lower in our area,
exactly.
right?
And it was. So you think about that for a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah.
16%. Now, I'm going to take a side journey here.
Okay.
This speaks to so many people that maybe want to buy, but they keep waiting for the home prices to come down.
Woo.
So when you see a number like this and you look at this trend, go back to your slide, please.
Okay.
Look at the trend
Oh,
here.
I feel a soapbox moment coming on.
I'm about to say it. I'm about
Go
to
ahead
go
and bring
there.
it.
Hey, you bringing the juice this morning. Okay? Got a little gin and juice going, gotta do that. Anyway, um, but when you talk about supply and demand, I go back to the years of pandemic when we were shortage on toilet paper and whatever else, and the demand was so great, prices were going up. I don't see any indication that prices are going to go up. And with the inventory, and for those that don't understand what a good market is or what a normal market is when you have about 6 months supply of inventory. 16%. And that's on a national level. Think about that locally. So nationally, there's only 16%. There's no houses out here, people. They're not building any more land. So waiting for the right time to buy, i.e., prices to come down, or even interest rates for that matter. If you do want to buy, what you need to do is partner with someone like Makita and talk about the plan of what you need to do to position yourself to be able to purchase. And knowing that it may not be your forever home, but that's the mindset shift too, is, you know, when I think about, and I guess I'm just going to flow right into that piece of it, is the whole shift from, maybe you're not in the ability, you maybe renting isn't, I mean, maybe purchasing isn't for you, but you want to shift towards home ownership, then you do need to partner with the right person and think about stability. So maybe that first house is not your dream home, but it's a foot in the door. Is the way I used to think. You say, look. I used to joke back. I might be dating myself. He's like, get that good government job. It might not be your dream job, but just get in there. Once you get in there, you can move around. At least that's what it was like for us growing up back in the day, and even today, even the job. But to stay on point, your home that you buy today, you may not be able to get in it, the first house, with all the bells and whistles. I need to have a 2-car garage. I need to have 10 acres inside of Alexandria. No, ain't gonna happen. Even Woodbridge for that matter. But with home ownership does come, obviously there's so many different um positive points that go with home ownership: stability, the opportunity to build financial wealth. There are also tax benefits, and just the whole piece. To me, it's like a fixed mindset versus, a mindset that just, someone that just not stable in there. You know what I mean?
Like a variable mindset,
It's
like you said,
exactly.
somewhat being uncertain. So again, this is not to shame anybody. Like people have their reasons for renting. So I want to just kind of jump in and give some more context and flesh out your thought a little more. I'm saying like if you can afford to buy a home,
Exactly.
then I think you should buy a home.
Exactly.
Because of the reasons she said, not because I do loans. I mean, you mentioned one of them good government jobs. I'll tell you what, the way this market is being, I'll take me one right now. Anybody got a plug?
Good government job. Leave.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
stay
I'll
away
take
from
one right
around.
now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been a wild market. And if it's been wild from us as a professional standpoint, it's going to definitely be the same for a consumer, it's going to be worse. So you're going to have
Yeah,
the right mindset. My
absolutely.
word for the year for 2024 was focus.
Mm,
That's my word for 2024, was
very
to
good.
be focused, right? I don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
all over the place, unstable. So pretty much putting the blinders on. And if you're looking to buy a house, you have to have that same thought process that you're going to be focused. You're going to put the blinders on. You're going to, get rid of all of the distractions, right? So
Right.
Real Higgins said I had to buy 3 houses before I landed in my forever home. I'm with you,
Very
Chanel. So
good.
my third one was the forever home that we're
Mm-hmm.
sitting in right now that I very much don't leave as I need
Right,
to
right,
go
right, right.
outside more, right? But it was a journey. It was a
Yeah.
journey, and it had to start with the mindset of ownership versus renting. Now that was pounded into me from my mom, rest in peace. She definitely was not for the renting in her mind because she knew she was stable. I grew up in Detroit. She wasn't leaving, and she, wanted to make sure that we were secure and stable and that nobody was going to come in telling us that we need to, roll out as a single parent in the middle of
Mm-hmm.
winter in Detroit because I need to sell my home or whatever it actually is. That's traumatic within itself. And I've
Right.
had that happen to actual clients. Now, I was able to save 2 or 3 that got a notice like that. This is real talk right here.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
got a notice like that in 2023 that, hey, I'm selling my house, you got to go. Now, one of them I couldn't help, and the reason I couldn't help him because he wasn't ready for his credit. So now
Yeah.
he's going to be displacing his family in February to yet another rental at a place that he's rented for 10 years, right? So my heart hurts when I see things like that.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the mindset of ownership, one thing about buying a home, you have to have your credit together. You got to keep
Got
your
to have
credit
it.
on point, ready to be able to make a decision, right? So that's something in 2024. If you're thinking about buying a home, the first thing, focus on what's going on with your credit report. That's one thing
Absolutely.
I'm thinking about, right? But,
Absolutely.
when we think of some of the benefits of ownership, you've already touched on them, just, stability and things like that, equity, tax deductions. But I like real estate from a leverage standpoint. I feel
Exactly.
like, that the average American, that this is our leverage tool that they gave us. We got to work with what we got, right?
Right.
And I
Right.
feel like real estate is a vehicle that can be leveraged. So why not leverage something that you're actually living in?
Yeah.
Because if you are an adult, you pretty much got to pay to live just about everywhere that's inside, even the YMCA charges these days, I believe. So if you're inside, you got to pay something, right? So
Right.
if you can
Exactly.
afford to buy and you're paying high rent, why not transition those dollars into a vehicle that can be used as leverage, right? I don't
Leverage.
want anyone to necessarily go in already as, home ownership as an investment, but it is what it becomes,
Exactly.
right?
But it also can be used, I'm with you, Marquita. I
Okay.
believe that it is definitely an opportunity to, we talk about this, building wealth and leveraging it for maybe you want to start a business, maybe you want to do something else, you can utilize the equity for that. But also, think about, sometimes people have, God forbid, they have situations that arise in their life, medical situations or something that they need, and they don't have access to any other means and need to pay that off, or maybe send Johnny or Sally to school, you know but also in addition to, for me personally, looking
Mhm.
at it as an opportunity to leverage for other to advance and grow our wealth, but also retirement. Because I'm looking at, you know what, when we decide to maybe downsize or whatever, I can use this money and apply it towards my retirement. I mean, I'm closer to that than I am to, you know, building even longer term wealth. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? So, I
Okay.
mean, there's various ways, I mean, that you can take advantage of this opportunity that you cannot with renting.
Okay.
And I always like to, when I sit down and I counsel with people, home
Mhm.
buyers considering, obviously the first thing is definitely, like you mentioned, you got to get your credit right. You got to partner with someone like you or a credit person, a counselor, to let's look at the greater picture. And to me, it starts with the lender, because he who has the goal makes the rules. So you guys know what is required. But and understanding the mindset, but also letting them see the numbers. Because, I mean, if you don't understand the fact that 2,000, let's just go with that number,
Okay.
monthly payment, that does not include your utilities, because I don't know many places that's going to have all utilities included at 2,000 a month.
Uh-huh.
That's $24,000 a year that you are essentially paying off someone else's mortgage, retiring their debt, building their long-term equity or wealth. And if you just rent from that person and they didn't raise their rent annually, that
Uh-huh.
is $96,000 that you have just essentially given away without any reward or benefit. So to me, that's where I get on my soapbox.
Okay.
Understanding first their need. If they do need to rent, if they want to buy and want to get in position, these are some of the things I think they need to understand, and talking about that mental shift. Because when you see that on paper, when I see that on paper, I'm like,
Man,
whoa,
I'm over
that
here
that's
angry.
huge
I'm
for me.
angry. Like
Yeah, I'm
you
mad.
almost
I'm
gotta
mad.
you almost gotta get mad, right?
You
Like,
get mad. It's like,
yeah,
look,
I'm almost
people.
angry for somebody right now. Like in your mind, you should be upset every month when you write the check because you already know you know
Think from that.
you're
I
running
mean,
up that just
$96,000.
alone. All right, we can end the live. Like I'm already mad, right? So you have to shift your mindset. However, we I mean we are living, let's be 100 right now.
Right, right, right.
Um, we're living in a country that is not pushing this narrative overall to the people. Okay.
In fact, there's a shift to continue to push renting. And
And
who's
that's what
behind?
I'm saying. Like,
Yes.
so sometime we also got to understand that if this is the narrative that's being pushed, perhaps
Yeah.
we need to look and go the other way. But it's a big media juggernaut, it's a conglomerate. You know, the news is able to overpower messages that are being sent across the airwaves and energy like this because
Hmm.
they have all of the media outlets to actually do it. We're
Correct.
returning into a country that basically says, hey, you know, you will own nothing and be happy, right? And
Right.
that was showed. There were over, I don't know how many headlines last year that always were against the grain of why not to buy, affordability, blah, 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 blah. But kudos to those people that had already had it in their mind that they were going, you know, make that move to shift from home ownership, from
Yeah.
renting into home ownership, or right out of the parents' house, or understand the fact that, you know, equity might be the only way to do some things in America that, you know,
Mhm.
makes sense. Like I said earlier, I think you have to have the mindset of leverage, right?
Yeah.
You know, here's a few things I feel like you can do with equity that I think you addressed. I don't know if you
100%.
can see that or not, right?
There you
You
go.
know,
Exactly.
buy the next home. Like you might not walk up into the first one with, like she said, the 3-car garage and the home, whatever. Or maybe once you have a home, you can reinvest in a home because Mr. Johnny not letting you paint those rooms purple and
Oh,
all of that. You're not having your cigar bar in the basement, none of
that
that. And it's
part.
crazy if you do, and you're improving their actual place
Bottom
versus
line.
yours. But then
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
might can, like you said, pursue some personal goals. right? Is that money that now, just because of where I live, that I can leverage that and start the business, right?
Mm-hmm.
As the,
Mm-hmm.
the superstar cat groomer or whatever that you want to be on the side, whatever your hobby actually is, but
I
you
need to
just
mention
don't
that.
have that opportunity after you have given somebody $120,000 for 5 years as a renter. So ownership has to be a mindset of owning, how that actually works for you, right? So
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
definitely wanted to share that and kind of get that off my chest. I'm sorry I'm a little heated over here, but it just kind of is what it is.
Well, it is, Marquita. And even if you decide that, maybe you are going to be in an area for a short period of time, I would ideally prefer putting my money, because I believe, and I think history has shown, real estate has historically been a safe, mostly a safe place to put your money with a better return. Even, I mean, I think the return on real estate has been far greater than even with, stock market. But if you are going to be in an area for a short period of time, again, I just look at it as this is an investment. I mean, I'll get the return one way or the other. At least I can get the tax benefit that is
Okay.
available to us. Um, and utilize that money. Who knows? Maybe it isn't my forever location, but then here we talk about leveraging, then keep it, rent it out, boom, and move on. And let somebody else retire your debt and build your finance. But I think at the end of the day, it's more than just having a place to live. It really is a mindset. As you mentioned, it starts with financial planning, understanding your credit, all the responsibilities. What are your personal responsibility and your long-term commitment? I think about legacy. I think about long-term, legacy for my family, stability, memories, as we move forward in life and as I age. Of course, my mindset is shifting, becoming a grandmother last year. Yay, that was one of my
Ah, he's so precious,
greatest
man.
thing. Yeah, that was one of my greatest gifts. um
I could totally
but
see that. Yeah.
oh girl, yes. I'm traveling to New York to babysit next week. I mean, anyway,
Oh,
that's
they
another
got you.
story.
They got you
They
hooked over
got me.
there.
They got me. But, it can be, it's a very much rewarding opportunity. And the thing is, partnering with someone, sitting down, having the conversation, because educating yourself, because the truth of the matter is, Marquita, and you know this, even having sit down with people, even today, we take for granted the things that we have been fortunate to learn and to understand as we move forward in life. But there's so many people that don't know that they can actually buy, or even if it's a year out, maybe 2 years out, have a goal. Again, it starts with financial planning. Have a goal going in, focus, like you said, sit down, have the conversation, determine exactly what you want and how you can at least get your foot in the door, because life change and it's moving quickly. I like to say, let's just be prepared as we move forward, whatever it
Yeah.
is, and make the best, build your legacy, build your family's long-term generational things that, not just for you and your grandkids, but their grandkids. And real
Mhm.
estate and home ownership, in my opinion, is one great way of doing it. That's my
Yeah.
2 cents.
Well, you hit on a couple of things. That was 3 cent, girl. Thank you.
Girl, that's my
You
emotional,
you have
that's
to
my
have
emotional soapbox.
you have to have a plan, right? Proper planning prevents poor
Poor
performance.
performance,
So when
correct.
we start talking about the mindset of ownership, the first thing to shift a mindset is you're gonna have to make a decision. Like,
Mm,
it's not going to be easy. It might be tough. You might get sick of
yeah,
talking to a loan officer like me or somebody that, in your ear about what you need to do, right?
right.
Might even get beat up a little bit along the way. But once you've
It's
decided
love.
to do something and you have
Mm,
a focus on it, then everything else is mid, far as that's concerned, right? It doesn't even
exactly.
matter, right? So you said having a financial plan. I mean, it's looking at your credit, it's looking at your budget, it's being 100. I can tell you right now that having 10,000 streaming services doesn't seem like it's a lot. But what if you could just take all of that money for a year and saved it up?
Right.
Right? What if you just
Yeah.
did that? I mean, how many different shows? do we really need to watch? At this point, for me, the Cat Williams episode is going to be on repeat. So we good. Y'all want some must-see TV? Go check that out on YouTube. It's free. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I digress. I'm sorry. I didn't even mean
You
to go
got
there.
curious minds all in
We got to get
peak
this
now.
mindset off,
We're
right?
gonna segue from the mindset of home ownership to go and check out Cat Williams. Go ahead.
Hey, well, you know, one thing he brought out, look, I'm inspired by his energy. He was busting out the truth. And like I was saying, so the truth is, in this country, they want you to not own anything and be happy. Okay, don't be out here trying to act up. You just be happy about it. So I'm just not
Word
for
of
it.
God says people perish for lack of knowledge.
For the lack of knowledge. So we're
Get
gonna keep putting these bars out here. Okay.
educate yourself. Yes, for
Mhm.
sure, for sure.
So
All
my
right.
other thing was, my word for 2024 was focus. But somebody asked me, what did I want to be known for 2024? And I said it. I was like, I want to be the educator of the year. That's my goal
Very
for
good.
this year. I'm going
Very
to be the
good.
educator of the year, and I'll let the chips fall, you know, where they may. You know, if that doesn't make it be a better year, then that's okay. I can go ahead and get my good government job and move on. So when you start thinking about owning, you know, one thought process is, if it is to be, it's up to me, right? Versus
Hey.
renting, the thought process is get somebody else to do it. Nah.
Right.
If you want
Right.
to own, if it is to be, it's up to me. The rent person be like, let me get somebody else to do it. Nah, you're gonna have to shift that mindset that if it is to be, it's up to me. Another thing about owning versus, you know, a more temporary mindset is, you know, you have to have delayed gratification. And
Correct.
that is a big problem for us. Okay. So delayed
Yes.
gratification is somebody that's looking to own versus instant gratification, right?
Correct.
You have to
Correct.
be able to have that. So these are some of the traits that you have to have in your mind. You have to
Yep.
think about the word appreciation
Mm.
versus inflation, right?
Oh, talk
Okay,
about it. Yep.
appreciation versus inflation. I know we're talking about inflation on the news, but let me tell you what's happening. While everything is inflated, the house prices are appreciating because of that, right? So
Yeah.
when you want some bars to drop down on your mind,
Mm.
what you should have it on, I'm giving
Mm-hmm.
it to you right now, right?
Right.
Ownership, claim it, mine, renting, theirs, okay?
Exactly.
Mine, theirs. Get
Right.
it, right? Stay with me now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Control. If I want to be a own, I'm a boss. I want to control it. You can't control over there, right? And God forbid, let the landlord show up and you got Fluffy in there trying to, you know, stuff him under the bed when he done told you can't even have Fluffy on there. You got Fluffy sitting on the bed like he a stuffed animal. Okay, you don't have no control, right? So I know how much y'all love y'all pets and stuff. You have no control. So a owner, the mindset is I want to have control, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
another thing I'm telling you, and I'm gonna stop right here because I
He's
think my
mad.
time is done, is yes, it might be difficult.
Yeah.
It
But
might be.
anything that's worth having, you gotta work
And
for.
there you
If
have
it
it.
was easy,
There you have it.
everybody be
Everybody
doing
want
it.
the easy button. Nobody is
But
not,
if it was easy,
it's not.
everybody would be doing it. It's
All
hard
right,
for
so get
it.
your mind right in
Longevity.
2024 because
That's
I'm gonna
right.
drop this
Get
last
focused.
slide, then we're gonna turn this thing off for real. But I think we really need to see it when I know who the crux of our audience actually is. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead
Oh,
and
oh
share it
yeah.
right
Bring
now.
it. Bring that
And
one up.
it kind
Share
of, this
that.
thing really blew me, right? I'm gonna show
Yes.
it though. And
Share it.
I don't even think it needs commentary, right? So we've already said that 16% of
We'll
the
drop the
houses in
mic on
America.
this. Before you share,
Yeah.
anybody, Sylvia? All right. What? Oh, yeah. Oh, this is my little entrepreneur right here. What is she say? She goes, what about getting into the mindset of sustainability? You can have a goal for home ownership, but if you can't sustain it, it means nothing.
Oh, well, we
Boom.
can just go ahead and add that to the bar. And that's why when you buy the house that you can afford. That's why
Forward.
you go in with a plan.
Yes.
Approvability versus affordability are two different things. I love that, sis. And sustainability, because we can get
Yes.
the house. We had the highest home
You
ownership
got to
rate
be
in
able to keep
America
it.
at the minute, but we couldn't keep it because we had people in toxic loans. They weren't prepared. They didn't know they needed maintenance. They didn't understand. So yes, I love that sustainability. Add that thing to the whole list as
That
a
is
mindset you have
100%.
to actually have. However, I do
Absolutely.
think it's better and easier to sustain when you have a proper plan. And it's not based on emotion.
It
Okay, because
starts
life
with
is
the
going to happen
plan,
to all of us, whether we're a homeowner
whether you're
or
ready
we're
or
a
not.
renter. But if you
Yep.
already winning that thing over your head, you got a problem.
Yep.
You already got a problem, right? So I'm going to
Yep.
drop this right here on y'all. And then we're going to flip this thing out unless there's some other questions.
All
But
right, I don't see any more.
we said 16% for the country of, affordable. How about
Right.
that number? Just
No, which was available. Yeah, look at this. 7% of
that no,
listings
that
are
was the
affordable
affordability.
for typical Black home households. Wow. That's number 7, guys, in case you don't understand what we're referring. Look at the different stats here. Asians, white American, non-Hispanic, overall Hispanic, and green is for the African American household.
7% of
Wow.
listings in America last year were affordable to the typical Black household. It's unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Right? The legacy can't be leaving that we leave in fur coats and hats. We need to be leaving real estate deeds and trust, right? And the way we at least do that is by owning something, right? Now, yeah, so I wanted to make sure that
Control the narrative. Control the narrative of your life, your family's life. Education, plan, educate yourself. Understand. Even if, you don't have to be this big real estate guru, but at the end of the day, stop selling yourself short. Just look at the opportunities and the potentials. And we just laid them out. We kind of hit so many, and I know our time is up, but
yeah,
again,
but can I add in something? You said that, like we need to change the narrative. So there was a narrative last year that all the institutional buyers were these big corporations that own all these properties, and this is why I was an affordability problem in America. Well, the truth actually came out. The biggest owners of real estate as landlords in America are mom and pops, people like me and you. They are the actual biggest owner. Yes, the commercial conglomerates are buying real estate, but they're buying commercial real estate. They're buying land and building right now whole communities. The whole community is going to be called build to rent. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
all
yes,
right.
that's
Follow
a fact.
the money.
Follow the money. Follow the money.
Yes.
That's
That's what we got. That's what we got.
Where's the microphone? Where is the mic? Let's just
Go
drop the
ahead and
mic.
drop
I
it.
mean, 2 Ketas in a gym, shot a gym. I hope you guys found this episode enlightening, and certainly enlightening.